A child the day before, my eyes buried and contented and unknowing in the eye of cat, snake, goldfinch, or in the pure might of the mile-long factories, I woke up. September dawn was burning, the color of rust and drying blood. My blood was erect and fire. Do what I would, it charged and recharged its milky brilliance, and everything fell away from me. The creek, the forest, the flowers, the birds, mill, metal, in restless disturbances, my bright and dark eruptions. That day, I went everywhere. Saw the rust on the rails, the fences, the car hinges, hammers, barrels, barges, factory walls, and knew that it was iron, escaping its alloys, returning its oxygen. It seemed then that there must be a new purity, a new sharpness of the air, a deeper breath somewhere in our atmosphere. The decay was all around me. Wasn't it feeding the earth? So that beyond the depopulated smelters, emptying stores, fraying outskirts, somewhere there must be Egypt, or another river of a more inclusive, older fear of death, more violent desperation, mightier tombs, and tomorrow I would set out for new engines and fresh mills. That's A.F. Morris, I'm Cole Mash, and this is the Inspired Word Cafe. Oh, no. You're too much. You at home too. Just stop there. No, but seriously, I'm really stoked. We have a really great show today. We've got local poet extraordinaire, mosaic workbook poet worker Erin Hiebert is here. Yeah. So, and then we've got some drums. We got some rap from Luqman. So it's gonna be a super rad show. But all joking aside, I'm going to bring up Erin here in a second. I really think she is one of the best poets that we have in the Okanagan. She's a dear friend of mine, and I'm really stoked to have her on the show. So let's have a big Inspired Word Cafe welcome for Erin Hiebert.
Thank you, Cole. I'm very excited to be here, so thank you for having me. For the Victoria Bridge, on the occasion of her death. If you jump off Victoria Bridge, you're serious about trying to die. All to do with the lovely stretch of rocks painted with lovers' names and peace signs. If you are serious about trying to die, it is because you want to cover the names of those lovers. Your boyfriends have covered other lovers, and that's why they won't come home to you. Victoria Bridge is the oldest bridge in Saskatoon. January 23rd. We'd go to the pawn shop as a family. In La Loche, the pawn shop is where you shopped. Anything you wanted new. The shelves lined with unopened boxes. My parents would talk to the owner, a big game hunter. He had alligator skin on his office wall. I traced the knots in the plywood with my sneakers and would wait for them. Once, on my way in, I saw 3 kids lift a Tupperware jug up to the rain gutter. In a kiddish miracle, the water turned red. My father bought me a stereo, and when I turned it on, its LCD light said, "Hello." 15 years later, many hear of La Loche for the first time and then forget. I watch videos, a history of loneliness, 4 dead in the town, an unnamed boy, an isolated incident. A father burned the ground for 3 days to thaw the earth enough to put his sons in it. The meltwater carried the sound of his grief. The next day, I get up to rain. The clouds snapped like saran wrap over the mountains, suffocating January in the Okanagan Valley. Think about the pitch of rain splatter, rising as a jug fills into Kool-Aid. I ask friends if they've heard, and they say no. I wait, and then the sound goes, the loud dampened by snow. So tonight, if you can tell, I'm going to try to endeavor to hold all of Kelowna's attention with poems about Saskatoon. And this next one I wrote for my father and Remembrance Day, which is kind of like a big to-do in my family. So this is for him. It's called Free Parking. My father has a veteran's plate for the free parking. Downtown, one Sunday, he tells me, without it, they'd ding him about $30 a month. He keeps photos of a graveyard in Sarajevo. And on Remembrance Day at the Legion, my father gets me rum and Diet Cokes free for veterans. The graveyard wouldn't fit into one frame, so he took several pictures of fields with white crosses. For a long time, he wouldn't get the plate. What did he need it for? Free parking downtown when we go to Earl's on a Sunday? But my father won't pay more than he has to. And why would he? When I was little, he came home with maps of fields of small X's to show where the landmines were. And at the Legion, the officers collectively unbutton the red serge and flaunt their crested undershirts as they sit at my table drinking free beer. My father clicks through the photos of the graveyard as he presents them to a room full of cadets. Parking is probably closer to $50 a month, he says, so it's worth it. And so if that poem was for my dad, this next poem was written to torture my dad because he is a big Brad Wall supporter. This poem is called #SaveOurCrowns. I wake to an email from LinkedIn about once a week saying there are 3,000 jobs open in Saskatchewan. Probably data entry, some Brad Wall type corporation with the city, or at a mine where I would never see the sun but make a stupid amount of money. I hate Brad Wall. I just can't with him, and I still have about $2,000 on my credit card to burn through before I have to. This has distracted from my creative process. I should be working harder, good Lord. Yeezy's in the hospital for exhaustion, odd and erratic behavior at a concert. Our cells quit regenerating right at 25, and we comfortably begin to die without knowing. I could pay off one more black dress, let the phone bill slide through next month. I wake up to an email asking if I know my father on LinkedIn. Do I know the head of the creative writing department? Would I like them to endorse my skill set? Lauren Calvert used to buy fake flowers with his wife at my till. Brad Wall penned a letter asking Trudeau to reconsider his commitment to bringing Syrian refugees into the country. Now seems like a good time to do the money thing. And if I come home, Brad Wall says he'll forgive a portion of my student debt. And Saskatoon is in a renaissance, gentrifying into 20th, regenerating blocks of storefront as kitsch vintage stores. And I know where to find cheap rent. Yay wants to work through his recovery because creative genius doesn't sleep. Our nerve cells start to decline after 20. Broadway's jumped the shark with the 3 specialty bakeries on one corner and the pizza place with the $14 caprese. You can't pour rum into your Slurpee behind the 7-Eleven anymore or get stoned in Vico Park, but that might be a symptom of 26. Last time I was home, I ate leftover tomato salad by the river, city hospital, across the water, an apartment I always thought I'd like to rent next to me. I've begun to die stubbornly. Last week, and then again yesterday, I get an email reminding me maybe I should let go, that it would be easy to sit by the river having coffee. This next poem is for the scariest bridge I've ever been across, the train bridge in Saskatoon. The city cut the love locks off the stairs to paint the rails a blacker black. When the river is low, sandbars appear across the water. The walk, only just wider than my wingspan, doesn't absorb motion, but shudders, like it would rather break than be touched. When the river is low, you can see the sand between the wood slats, sand bleeding through the knots. Hundreds of lovers had their hearts broken at the bottom of the stairs, probably 100 pairs. And as the train comes across, the bridge rattles brutally, trying to toss us off. My last poem tonight is called Likely BC. The sun has come back, and my skin has become dull and unremarkable. Unremarkable except that it's there. I learned to do maps on a Tuesday, to follow the grid system of 82E. I come from a place where we all have the same dream of leaving. Things have become too visible. Even the traffic lights turn for me in the morning. I did a large order of topographical maps today. They included Cherry Creek, Kelowna, and Likely BC. The traffic lights have shaved 2 minutes off my walk to work. Mein Kampf keeps selling. An old woman told me, the Dalai Lama is a science man, pure left brain. She doesn't like the mush of Catholicism. My skin has become dry and rigid in this climate. She says, I have trouble with the I meaning ego, and I have trouble with the emptiness. I should invent a better face cream. I think I dreamt the leopard umbrella she carried for rain. It is enough for most to just want to slip away. I've carved my initials into the baseboards of every closet I've ever had. A man places a large order of maps every spring and sells them at his shop back in Likely for a markup. Soon my skin will go brown. There'll be sun and more sun, and Albertans will come quickly over the mountains. Thank you.
All right, we are back here with Erin Hiebert. Folks at home, lay off making the mac and cheese at your grandma's, and this show just happened to be on because they have Shaw on, because you're not going to want to miss this one. So, Matt, you can make Erin, that was a super rad set. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a general sort of question, then we're going to get into some serious sort of stuff. So I was just sort of wondering, how did you get started writing?
Well, it's sort of a classic tale of a child who really liked to read and didn't really enjoy spending time with people very much. So I did a lot of that, and then I kind of like to tell the story as like one day I ran out of books to read, and so I just started writing stories.
Awesome. Yeah, I also don't like people.
I can tell.
Yeah, no. Okay, so we're gonna play a little game here today. It's called Who Said It? Justin Trudeau, Stephen Harper, or Mr. Burns? Are you ready?
This is hard hitting.
Yeah, it's some tough hitting political stuff. So, and it's tough to tell the difference between those three sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's the abs. I think that's the only. Okay. Quotation number 1. No country would find 173 billion barrels of oil in the ground and just leave them. Who said it? Justin Trudeau, Mr. Burns, or Stephen Harper?
Like my heart wants to say Harper, but I feel like maybe it's a trick question. Is it Trudeau?
It is Trudeau. at a Texas oil conference, people. So just remember that. Just see past the abs. It's tough. I know you're just staring at my future abs right now too. So, okay, next one here. Friends, family, religion. These are the demons you must slay to succeed.
It's Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns, it is. It is Mr. Burns. You're right. Okay, last one here. For the last time, I'm not a lizard man.
Stephen Harper.
It is. That's a really quote that he said. He said that. He did. It was, yeah, no. Okay, so that's the end of that game.
I mean, like, he is a lizard man, though.
I think he is a lizard man.
And I nailed your quiz.
3 out of 3. I'm not good at the quiz. Everyone gets all the questions, but there's lots of laughs. So that's okay. So I also thought maybe we could just talk about what are you reading right now?
Well, I just started reading Ulysses by James Joyce because I felt like torturing myself, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
How are you to like breakfast yet? It's like the whole book is over a day,
I'm
right?
past breakfast.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah. I had a long flight
you.
recently, and I read 80 pages and promptly fell asleep for the rest of the flight. I'm also reading Sharon Thiessen and Erin Morey's new books that just came out.
How are they? I'm actually just reading Oyama Pink Shale, Sharon's last
really
book,
like
and
that book.
It's amazing.
Yeah, they're good. I really have a soft spot for Sharon's Artemis Hates Romance.
Yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on those. How's Erin's book? Is it kind of weird and delightful? Yeah, awesome.
Classic.
All right, so that's pretty much all the time we have for you here. I'm gonna get you out of here. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Is there anywhere we could like maybe find some more of your work? Facebook.
You can follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. Google me.
Look at your closets to see if her name is carved into the baseboards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so stick around. Folks at home don't know mac and cheese yet. We're going to bring up Luqman here. He's a local poet, wordsmith, spoken word poet, rapper, drummer. He's gonna play a couple tunes here for us. So look for him. You can find him at 705 Luqman. That's on Facebook. That's on Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud. So check him out. Let's have a big Inspired Word Cafe welcome for Luqman.
Good job. Hey guys, thank you. Whoa, that's loud. How's that? All right, here we go. Hey, my name's Luqman. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here, guys. Pleasure to see you. And at one point, I was certainly uncertain, practicing my crafts to define how deep my worth is. Purpose, but it's deeper than these hearses. If death could ever find me, I'll be deep within my verses. Curses. Get away, I'm staying blessed. Every night I say thank you from the bottom of my chest. Vest, the way your brothers stay protected. My word is my bond, so the truth always connected, respected. But yet never neglected. We all in this together, but cross me and get rejected, respected. I beat cause man, I speak the truth, no Paul Pierce. If I'm taking shots, they fireproof. Why aloof? Do you think you're better than the game? Drop the ego, people see you way before they know the name. My line's pure, they never mess with Novocaine. No addiction in this world will ever heal your pain. Never underestimate The power of unity in a lyrical debate, I impose my impunity. I stay true to the level I'm musically, making that new groove, never feeling the scrutiny. Immunity, got it up in your system. Inject cold flows with the mic, I be twisting. Blunts, on the beats I be kicking. The old meets new, now I got him admitting. He's got game, we got a whole new contender who takes it to another level. Mic in a blender, mic in a bender. Like your car in December, and loyal to a brother like a family member, burn like an ember. I keep bringing the heat. I stay so low like your kicks in the street. Check the pedigree, bloodline of elites. Any enemy energy bring me back to my feet. Infinite, I'm an entity turning ash into sleet. Never give them a trick if they ask for retreat. This is one of my favorite instruments. It's called the Japanese steel tongue drum. And it's currently out of tune, but the dissonance actually gives it a cool new sound of its own. So I'm going to rock this out for you guys. Thank you, thank you. And I think I got more time here? Two? All right, cool. I'm gonna end it up with a little poem and then a little more drumming for y'all. So, I used to want to be a rich man with lots of gold, but slowly I realized the gold within my soul is old, it never takes a toll. So I'm bold with scrolls just like I'm Edgar Allan Poe. Or Shakespeare, I know they shaking my snake spear. Be coming for their head, man, I smell the snake's fear. Hick, dickory, dick, dock, the clock don't stop. Cheese at the top for rats to make it up here. I bet they never felt the flow of an eternity. Fraternity slowly trying to make a germ of me. Good luck, it's my quest to finally die. Well, you lost inside your mind, always asking why I. Picture perfect picture, deeper portraits in my eyes. All these pigeons must be chirping like the birds that's in the skies. Soon we'll realize that we're all just part of one. And if your quest is to destroy us, then your quest shall not be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me, guys.